had an inner battle, an inner duality, and it was I don't want Loren here, but I don't want to be that girl. Peace and blessings, everyone. It's your girl, Melissa Renee, with BellaMinded.com. And I've been on a bit of a hiatus. I've been on a little hiatus. However, I thank and appreciate everybody for bearing with me. I try to post a little bit as much as possible in between, but I just needed some time to like regroup, recoup, and get myself physically better because I was struggling, y'all. I was really, really struggling. But I am glad that I'm back, and I did post some videos that I hadn't posted yet that I did film right before I really went down and got sick. And I see the reaction to that Tabitha Brown versus DEI video, and I appreciate all of the comments and the likes and all of those things. So that means a lot to me. Excuse me. That means a lot to me, and it just tells me that what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm on the right path. So I just want to thank y'all for that. Thank y'all for being patient with me. But I am here. So I decided to call, because I have Her Mind is Beautiful podcast, of course, and we're going to get back to that as well too. But I also have my little segments talking about the current events and things that goes on that pertains to the collective of Black women. So, I was thinking about calling it like Her Mind is Beautiful Now, like talking about things that's going on now. But y'all tell me, tell me like, what should I call these little segments? I don't know. However, let's get on into the topic. So, of course, this has been trending. By the time I post this up, it probably won't be as big. But to be honest with you all, I would tell Jess, like, for you to be on social media as long as you've been on here and there, because I just have a different perspective, and I try to give a different perspective on these topics. Like, it's great and all for us to just give our commentary and our opinion about things, but at the end of the day, I want us to gain something and learn something from speaking about this, because it's we could gossip all day long about who's who, what, how, when, why, but at the end of the day, like, to me, it's just gossiping if we're not going to get to the meat and the potatoes of the situation or the topic and really take something away. So that's just what I want to do. I always want to take something away from what we're discussing and not just be talking to be talking. So, of course, I'm going to hit on Jess Hilarious. And I saw this coming because it was like maybe a month prior, people were posting and talking about what the internet was saying about the two girls. It specifically came off of the cuffs of Jess telling Lauren LaRosa to hush and shut up. And I said, I saw it coming, but I was really like banking and hoping that they would have been able to get through, talk through whatever it was, and it wouldn't allow the internet to get to them, But as we can see, that's not the case. Who do you feel in the situation is wrong? Do you feel Jess is wrong? Do you feel Lauren is wrong? Do you feel that Charlemagne and Envy are wrong? I will say this. I think the reason why a lot of the murmur and the talk was coming in a way is because I believe we all kind of sense the tension. That's one thing people don't realize about energy. One thing, when they say numbers don't lie, energy don't lie either. Energy does not lie. You can feel energy. You can see energy. Like, it's there. And you can't mask energy. I don't care how much you say, oh, we're cool, everything is fine, or I'm okay. It's always going to be telling in your energy, in the way that you say you're okay, in the way that you say I'm fine. It's just there. So we kind of sensed it. Like, it was telling when Jess came back. It was telling with the less and less she decided not to talk. So here's the thing. I like both of them. I like Jess. I like Loren. I'm not going to pin two Black women against each other. And I'm not going to pick one over the other. I think they're both beautiful women. I think they both have talent. I think they are both good at what they do. And I'm never going to be someone, as much as I advocate for Black women, advocate for space for Black women, for healing, for accountability. I'm not going to sit on here and try to objectify their situation by making one out to be a villain or the other out to be a saint. I'm just not going to do that. But I am going to talk about hit on some things that I saw, and that if Jess was my friend or if Loren was my friend, like, things that I would tell them. Like, if they were here in this collective and sitting with me, these are things that I would say and discuss with them, and try to be as receptive, open, truthful, nurturing, and loving as possible when I say this. This whole what people saying on the internet, what people saying on the internet, what people saying on the internet. Now, I don't take it away to say that it's a lot. I don't sit in a position to have the type of, it's not magnified right now for me with the comments and the criticism and the critique that people may give me. I don't sit in that position yet. But I do get people in my comments. I do get people saying certain things when I'm on platforms, when I'm commenting, when I'm saying stuff. I do get that. And sometimes it's not that nice. Sometimes it's outright mean. So to say how I would respond when it's on a maximum level, I don't know. I will speak it into existence and say that I will not allow myself to feed into the negativity, and I will lean into the positive. That's what I'm putting out in the universe. That's what I'm speaking into existence. I do have a blog, honestly, that I would suggest y'all go check out. It's called How to Protect My Peace on Social Media. And I would love for y'all to go check that out, because I really talk about and go into, like, the certain steps that I take when I'm on social media. I feel like you have to be very intentional when you go onto social media, especially somebody on Jess level. I feel like you have to be very intentional when you go and open your phone up and go in those apps, because if you're not intentional, you will find yourself, like, feeding negative energy that you shouldn't be feeding. Now, I will say this. Sometimes things affect us, and we allow things to affect us because it's something rooted in that. So I would tell Jess, like, for you to be on social media as long as you've been on here, and for this thing right here to bother you, it probably is stemming somewhere deeper than what the internet is saying. And she actually admitted that. She said in the clip, she said, but maybe what the people are saying on the internet is how I feel. Maybe they're saying how I feel, which to me, I interpret it as, like, yeah, this is how I already felt. When I went on the internet and saw the comments, they confirmed this feeling. So you can only come to the conclusion that, well, what were they saying in the comments? Oh, you about to be replaced. They about to replace you. Lauren's better. Loren does this better. So what I'm interpreting from that, and this is just my opinion, is that Jess honestly felt that way already. It wasn't the internet that planted that seed in her. It was something she already felt. She already felt like, oh, they're trying to replace me. Oh, they're trying to fire me and get rid of me. Oh, like, I mean, Loren does really good at this. She's really good. Like, dang, made me feel like I need to step my game up, or I'm not as good. And that to me is where the root of it is. It's not the internet. It's not Charlemagne and envy. It's not Loren. It's Jess and how she feels in her insecurities. And I feel sometimes not even sometimes, I feel like when we don't address our insecurities, that is when we start to really, really unravel. I think sometimes we're scared to address insecurities. Like, we want to feel like we have it all together, but we don't all the time. We all struggle with certain insecurities, but I think that's all a part of growing and healing. Like, that's why we're never at a stage where we're just fully maxed our potential or we fully have grown. We're always going to be growing because we're always going to be evolving, and things are always going to be changing around us. And when things change around us, we have to learn how to adapt and adjust. And that sometimes is where the insecurity comes in. When changes come unexpectedly, sometimes when you even expect it to come, you believe like, okay, I'm going to be good till that change actually happened. And it's like, oh, I didn't expect it to be like this. So change definitely starts to get us uncomfortable and out of our comfort zone, out of our familiarity, and we will start to feel a little like uneasy. And I feel like that's what happened to Jess. She started to feel uneasy, and then that's when those insecurities come into play. And we all struggle with insecurities, okay? We all have to deal with our insecurities. Some of us can deal with them a little bit better than others. Some of us can deal with our insecurities in a way of ease because we will acknowledge it. We will see what it is. Like, yes, I'm feeling inadequate in this area. I'm feeling like maybe I'm not enough, maybe I'm not doing enough, maybe this, maybe I should do that. We actually acknowledge the insecurity so that we can unpack it and get to the root, like what's really going on. The problem is when we don't acknowledge it. And I feel like, my personal opinion, Jess struggled with an insecurity that she does not want to own, and she didn't want to look in the face and confront. So she had to redirect that insecurity on Loren, on Charlemagne, and on DJ Envy. And I said this in a comment, I believe I said, I feel like Jess is struggling with the fact of, I don't think she wanted Loren to be there. And she admitted that. I didn't want Loren here. And I don't think that she didn't want Loren here because of the way that Loren addressed something when she first came back. Like, no. Even like, we got to realize sometimes, right? When we sitting in a place where we feel secure with who we are, notice how you deal with people when they're being shady. Or if you think they're throwing shade. Notice how you do it. We deal with things very differently when we're secure. When we're secure and somebody try to throw a little shade, sometimes we don't even realize it. Sometimes we be like, oh, like somebody had to tell us, right? Like, girl, you know she was being shady when she said such and such and such. And you like, oh, I couldn't tell. It went over my head. And you know why it went over your head? Because you were secure with who you were in that moment, that whatever that person said rolled off of your back. It didn't even make it anywhere. It didn't even like break the seal and get into a space within you to make you feel like razzled. You were 75 cool the whole time. It's only when we are feeling insecure and we're not feeling like secure about who we are, is when somebody can do something and it gets us uneasy because we're already uneasy. So even if they're not doing it intentionally, it's going to rub us the wrong way. That's why I love to tell people a lot of times, because I hear people use this, oh, your energy you came at me with a certain energy. Your energy is a certain way. And I love to tell people, like, we love to throw that out there now about somebody's energy just being a certain way, which made us feel a certain way. But you have to be emotionally aware. If you're not an emotionally aware person, that means that you are aware of your emotions. Like, you are aware of when things trigger you. You are aware when something makes you feel uneasy, uncomfortable. You are aware when you are feeling insecure. And that is important, because if you're not emotionally aware of what's going on with you, then you cannot be emotionally aware of what's going on with somebody else energetically or emotionally or mentally. Like, you just can't. If you can't check in your energy, you can't check somebody else's energy. So I always tell people, like, before you step into a room, be aware of how you feel in that moment. Are you nervous? Are you agitated? Are you frustrated? Are you happy? Are you upbeat? Those things are important, because when you walk in that room and you was aware of your emotional, mental, or energetic state in that moment, then you can be aware of other people's energy when you walk in a room. So if you happy-go-lucky and you walk in a room, you're going to immediately, once you already know that and you're aware of your energetic, emotional state, you can walk in that room and you're going to be like, oh, something off. So like, the energy ain't right in here. Because I was feeling good before I walked in. And we all have experienced that. We're like, I was feeling really good, but then I walked in and it was like, what? But if you don't do that, you could possibly be coming in there with the energy, but you're blaming other people for the energy. Why you saying it's other people's energy off? Oh, they energy off. It's really your energy. You weren't aware of your energetic state before you walked in there. You walked up and you was already nervous and agitated and didn't want to be there and didn't feel like nobody today. And if somebody said the wrong thing to me, I'm going to go off. And then you walk in and then it's like, look how she looking at me. Look how they see. That's why I want to be here in the first place. But sis, you came in with the energy. So the same way you can sense energy, so can other people. They sensed your energy once you walked into space and they said, ooh, like she just got here. What somebody did to her. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like with Jess, it was easy for her to say, oh, when I came in, you first came and the first thing you said was yada, 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 yada. And she could have took that of Loren addressing what the people said in the comments, because your energetic state, your mood, your feelings is already filled with a lot of insecurities and inadequacies and feeling like people, feeling like you're not good enough to be on the show because Loren is good at what she does. So you already are feeling this way. So when you come in and Loren starts to talk about addressing what people are saying in the comments, you automatically take it negatively because that's the state you were already in. Had you not been in that state and you came in a different state, you wouldn't have been, that wouldn't have made you feel like it was a shot or was a shade. Even if it was, it would have just glided off of you like water. And you would have addressed the situation and be like, oh no, what's the problem? But even in that engagement, like, it felt tensed. And I do believe that Loren was trying to address it because I'm sure that it made her feel uncomfortable and awkward. And I'm sure she wants a clean slate to say that, like, I'm not here to try to take your place or anything. So she wanted to take the elephant out of the room. And she probably really wanted to take the elephant out of the room based off the energy that you brought in the room that you weren't aware of. Jess had an inner battle, an inner duality, and it was, I don't want Loren here, but I don't want to be that girl. Like, I don't want to be that girl because I know who that girl is. I've had that girl try to do that to me. I know what it looks like. And I don't want to be that girl, but I don't want her here. And it's nothing wrong with her honoring her feelings of, I don't want Loren here. Because a lot of times we try to suppress things to like, oh, that's, I don't mind her being here. No, you got to be honest with yourself. I don't want her here. Why don't you want her here? Unpack that. Because you'll realize once you start talking and unpacking, you realize, okay, like I got some things I gotta deal with. I gotta find some reassurance within me to realize why I don't want her here. And I think she's battling with that. And I don't think Loren was saying like, I'm here, like, oh, I'm here, like they brought me here. No, I believe she was saying that like, I'm here, like I'm not going anywhere. Like I'm here. But for Jess to then say, I mean, you're here because I brought you here. And then for her to say, but I'm not trying to say it like that, but you are. But you are. You are trying to say it like that. And I'm not crucifying Jess for that because she's human. And when you're feeling insecure, when you're not feeling secure, when you not feel, and let's be clear, job security will have you feeling very insecure. When you don't have that reassurance or that job security, you will start feeling insecure. You start questioning how everybody moving. So I get it and I understand it. I won't say that she can't honor her feelings. I won't say it's anything wrong for her feeling that way because we've all experienced that from one time or another. However, like I tell people, your emotions, your feelings are just that. It doesn't necessarily mean everything you feel is valid. Like I could feel like my mom is the worst person in the world because she didn't give me things that I wanted. Does that make my feelings valid that my mom's the worst mother in the world? No. That's why I feel like it should have been a discussion off of social media. It should have been a discussion off of the air. So that she could really have that moment to say exactly how she feels and honor her feelings. Even if to say like, you know what? I'm not going to lie, Loren, I don't want you here, but it's not that I don't want you here because I don't think you do great at what you do, sis. I don't want you here because it makes me feel like there's no space or no room for me. Like, where do I fit in at? I feel like you came in, you start doing the job that I was doing, and where does that leave me now? Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Even with DJ Envy and Charlamagne, listen, I understand Loren is here. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't feel very secure in my job. I don't feel secure that I am wanted and needed here. I don't feel of value here. So what's going on? Because I need some clarity. Those things could have been discussed. I mean, I've seen people like getting on Jess, but I'm not going to get on her for having human feelings. It's just a learning lesson and it's a way to deal with those things moving forward. And yes, a lot of times the first steps in addressing certain things is yes, we do have to reflect and look at ourselves sometimes. And we have to look at, is this something someone is doing to me? Or is this self-inflicted because of my own, issues and insecurities that I may be having? Because, she said it several times about Loren. She said it on the live and she repeated it on the Breakfast Club. I'm the one who brought you here. Like, How you think that make Loren feel? I don't care how much you say, oh, I don't mean it that way, but you keep saying it that way. You don't have to say, I brought you here to reassure her that I love what you do. You could have kept saying that. I love what you do, Loren. I appreciate what you do, Loren. So it's not about that. It's about this. But to constantly keep telling her, well, I brought you here. I brought you here. How do you think that then makes her feel? And that's the whole point. Like, that's why I say, like, we have to be very careful because we can play victim and villainize ourselves very quickly when we contradict ourselves and do the very things that we have a problem with other people doing to us. So you have a problem feeling like you like ain't no space for you, like they came in, they didn't give you the reassurance and make you feel like, yes, Jess, this is what it is. So then you keep telling this young lady, well, I brought you here, I brought you here. You're doing the same thing to her. You making her feel like, well, dang, like, so you saying that like my value of being here, it was just determined off of you? Like, not the fact that I was good at what I was doing? You saying to me that you said, oh, get Loren, and that was just it? Like, it wasn't my resume, it wasn't my credentials, it wasn't any of these things. So I could have been a bum on the street, and if you said, hey, Loren gonna take my spot, the bum over there on the street, they would have just did it. But I do think a part of her is fine with Loren being there. I just feel like it's the insecure part of her feeling a level of job security that she is of worth or of value. And that's what I said in a comment when she was talking and going live. I said, let them know. I did say, you just got on the job, getting pregnant and being gone for that amount of time. I could kind of see how you would feel a little like, are they trying to get rid of me? Are they trying to fire me? I could understand that because that was like, you was here in the beginning, boom, you gone for a little minute, and so I could see that. And the way that the industry is, this entertainment industry as a whole, like 1 minute you in, the next minute you out. So I can understand all of those things. However, what I suggested in the comments to Jess was like, show them your value. In those moments when you're feeling insecure and you're feeling like, where is my place? And you feeling inadequate, unpack the insecurities and what you're insecure about, and then ask yourself why. Why am I insecure about that? I'm funny. I'm just hilarious. I can lean into my strengths. I can come up with a segment that's strictly for me that never has been presented on the Breakfast Club at all. Like, a lot of times it's like, I'm gonna tell y'all, I was just telling my son this. It's called transmuting energy. I honestly feel like I am gifted at transmuting energy. I will take a negative and flip that into a positive very quickly. I will. And I just think it comes organically to me. I think anybody can do it, but I think it comes natural for me because that's just a gift God gave me. That's why a lot of people walk around here and look at gifts as something that has to do with something of the art, like singing and, uh, uh, being good at sports or being a psychic. But there are other gifts. And like I said, transmuting energy, everybody don't do that easily, taking something negative and finding a positive out of it and making it work for them. And that's how I was viewing things for Jess. Like, take what you're seeing as a negative and flip that bitch and make it a positive. Okay, she's doing the entertainment news. That's fine. You know what? This allows me space and room to create a whole nother segment. Something that ain't been done before. Something that I can lean into my strengths of being a comedian. that will then have even more people trying to book me, even more people trying to sit in the seats and buy my tickets. But I get why Jess moved the way she did, because like I said, it was layered with her feeling insecure about her job position. And she might say she wasn't insecure. I mean, this is my opinion. She's entitled to say how she felt about whatever. I'm just saying, as somebody who deals with insecurity, we all know what insecurity looks like. And I want us to stop being so afraid to say when we insecure about something. And I know people think to walk around here like, oh, I ain't insecure about no other bitch. I ain't insecure. I know that's the thing to say because you feel like it makes you look like you're unbothered. But I feel like it takes more of a brave and courageous woman to say like, okay, I'm insecure about this. This person makes me feel insecure. This person makes me feel like, I feel like that's more credit because you are being vulnerable at that moment and putting yourself out there, knowing what people going to think or what people might say. And that's more of a confident person to be able to speak on your insecurities. That to me tells me that you sit in a more confident position than somebody who's denying it, because you can say it. And that means that you probably more further along in not feeding in that insecurity than someone who's still trying to deny that they're not insecure. I think we need to stop that. Like, we are human beings. To walk around here like you don't be bothered or insecure sometimes about shit. I be insecure sometimes. I see a woman with a nice flat stomach, okay, and I be looking at my pooch, and I be looking at that flat stomach, and I be looking at my pooch, and I be like, oh, I feel insecure in that moment. I'm not finna sit there and lie. I want to, and I know why. Because I want my stomach to be flat like hers. I like the fact that she has a flat stomach. It's nothing. Being insecure isn't the problem. It's how we navigate through our insecurities or channel our insecurities or deal with our insecurities. That's the problem. It ain't the insecurity. It's how you address it, how you deal with it. That's the problem. If you can address the insecurity and be real about it and unpack it and see where it comes from, like, then you can sit in a position where I can say, her stomach is flat. It made me insecure standing by her because I know mine ain't, which tells me, what you gonna do, bitch? Have a pooch of a stomach, or are you going to do something about it? And if you ain't gonna do something about it, then you damn sure better start feeling confident with your pooch and walking around with your little belly poking out and be fine with it. Be like, well, this what it's gonna be, because I'm not working out. Or get your ass in a gym or some type of exercise regimen at home and get your stomach flat. Get on some type of I don't want to say diet. Change the way you eat. Something. So that's what I would say about that. I wish much success to both the young ladies. I want to see both the young ladies on there. I feel like this is a great look for the Breakfast Club. It could definitely grow leaps and bounds. I cannot wait to see the way Jess starts to lean in and show them her worth and her value and why they got her in the first place. I can't wait to see her lean in. I didn't say show it, I say lean in it. Anyways, y'all tell me y'all suggestions and what y'all think about what I said in this whole synopsis. Do you disagree? Do you agree? And you give me your thoughts. And like, what are some things that you insecure? Do you even admit as a woman that you're insecure about things you may see or qualities you see in other women? Let me know, okay? And also, just to kind of put this in here real quickly, because, I love having these conversations with you all out here, with my lovely, beautiful Black women collective out there. I have created on my site, bellaminded.com, an online community just for us where we can elaborate and go more into these conversations with one another without feeling like we have to tone it down answer our talking. We can get in depth. We can be vulnerable. We don't have to worry about the trolls. We don't have to worry about the manosphere coming in. It can just be us as Black women just really being vulnerable, having these conversations with one another. And it's called Attract Your Tribe online. So if you go to bellamanda.com, you can click on the Attract Your Tribe tab, or go to bellamanda.com/attract your tribe and sign up. It is free. Just like a little social media, not telling you to get off your other platforms of social media, but this is just a sacred space to get away sometimes from the noise when you really want to have real deeper connection and engagements with like-minded Black women. You can do it here. So you could sign up for free. You could go in, you could start posting, talking about things you want to talk about, your trips, your kids, your man, you're not having a man, your rights, whatever it is you want to talk about, you can do that on there. And I do have a lot of things lined up. So it's not just you talking, but we're going to really like do some things for those who want to. So I will have certain like programs. We have monthly themes. It's certain workshops. I won't say programs, but certain workshops and webinars that you'll be able to sign up for if you choose to do so, being a member. Okay, and it's some other little things that I'm getting together to line up for y'all. So make sure y'all go do that. I appreciate y'all. Peace and blessings.